You can go ahead and start whenever you're ready. Sin?
Got it, thank you.
I'm giving a few minutes, so you can keep the music playing, by the way.
Okay. So just don't turn it off this time.
Yeah, don't turn it off. I like it in the background.
Okay.
Huh?
When do you want to turn up?
I will let you know.
Understood.
Hey Danny, yeah. It's gonna be, it's like a little interim thing that Shuggy puts on. Also, hey Neo. Yeah.
Do you know if you'll be directing these questions particularly to anybody? Or just kind of...
I probably should deafen. You know what, we're gonna deafen. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for jumping in, Neo. You take care of yourself, alright? We're going to be getting this ball rolling here very shortly. I probably shouldn't have been undeafened and unmuted. We're here in the backstages. It's all for fun, though. We'll be starting here shortly. Where's everyone?
Go ahead and raise the curtain. The video's about to be over, and get ready. We're live in 3, 2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen,
Damn, we're really early.
to Late Night in Eden. I'm your hostess, Shuggy, and we are joined by some amazing APCs. Please welcome our guests on in. We have Honda's K-Pie. Sin City Angel.
Yeah, baby!
And Lich Bane. Alrighty. Hello, welcome on in, everyone. It is so wonderful to have you all here today. Well, as we all get to sit down.
Find our chairs.
Yes, we gotta find our chairs. I'm praying that I don't fall on my bottom. We'll get there eventually and soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
So, you three, how does it feel to be on the show?
Well, okay, we're all looking at me. It's nice. It's interesting. I've been on other miscellaneous kind of things before for other groups, but it's really exciting to have an Eden Lost one for sure.
Hmm.
Hmm.
We love you, Sophie. We stand Sophie. Of course, of course. It is my absolute pleasure.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's great to be here, to be honest. It's nice and fun to come out and do something like this every so often, you know, and seeing something like this for Eden to appreciate and show some love for it is great.
Hmm. I'm glad to hear all positive things, which makes me happy. That's good. That's good. And you all are the first guests back after our relatively long break. So it is wonderful to crack my knuckles, get back into the feel of things once again, and hoping for many, many more episodes for the future. So,
Heck yeah.
yes, yes, yes. So let's. Ooh, if my tracking will behave. Let's go ahead and get started with our questions. So let's start with Pandas. How long have you been in the RP scene?
Oh. I think I'm just approaching, was it 2026 now? Yeah, about 3 years. But I've been in VR chat for about 5.
Very nice.
If we're talking just RP in general, I've been doing it since I was a kid, I guess, like a very long time. But if we're talking for VR chat roleplay, I've actually only been in for about 3 years. Roughly the same as Pandas. I started back in 2023. I've been on VR chat since 2018, but I'd say I only fully got started back in about 2023. Sounds about right.
Thank God I'm not the only VRC boomer here. Oh gosh. Because like I joined VRC at the end of 2017, start of 2018, and I didn't really start like this roleplay sphere until middle of 2018, and I've been like on and off it ever since.
Very nice, very nice. So I heard Sin over there talking about doing roleplay when you were much younger. Was this like back with text RP? Like, tell me a bit of that.
So, I discussed it a little bit, and I did recently. I put a year in review for my first full year of streaming. It's like a big encapsulating thing. It's like a 2.5 hour long video almost that I did. And I grew up in the Vegas area, Sin City Angel, obviously. So, it was not a lot of touching grass. It was going outside and dealing with 120 degree Fahrenheit or like roughly 50 Celsius weather out there. So it really discouraged being outside, but for the times we could, I had a friend that lived nearby, and he kind of got me into like towing the water with like Dungeons and Dragons, and you know, we're both kids, and we'd go out, like just go outside and, you know, use sticks, you know, use our imaginations, drink the hose water, you know, that kind of crap.
Yeah.
And from there, that kind of got the spark going, and then it just kind of slowly evolved where I went from that to eventually I tried out a friend's PSVR, and I was like, wow, this VR thing's really cool. And eventually I got into VR chat back in like 2017, 2018, and I remembered even way back then, I was like, you know, you could do cool roleplay stuff in VR chat. Why haven't people thought of that? Little did I know that Ascension Academy, Callus Row, and a bunch of stuff actually had been going on or getting ready to be started around that time. So just completely over my head, I guess. But that's kind of how it all started. So it was I got the gateway drug of some of that kind of stuff, I guess, if you will.
Good.
Yeah, really. Yeah, exactly. So started as a kid,
Understandable.
just slowly rolled
We
in.
can stop whenever we want. We're not addicted. We can stop whenever we want.
Oh God. So yeah.
Hi, my name is Shiggy, and I'm here for Role Players Anonymous.
Hi, Shuggy.
I swear.
Oh man. So that's I met people like Sophie way back then. It was in my first closed role play is actually how I got into it with kind of it was Warden's way back then. So
Wow.
she was one of the few familiar faces I knew when I came into Eden.
Hmm,
Ah, so that's your
that's
tie-in.
amazing.
Actually not quite. Oracle, the one Opal. She's the one who got me into Eden.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Hmm.
Shout out to Oracle.
Hell yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. Friends
So, yeah.
helping out friends getting into the cool spheres.
Absolutely. It was great.
Mhm. What about either of you? Did you ever experience roleplay outside of VR, or was it something that kind of you jumped head first?
I mean, I technically did in like some similar ways to Sin. Like I did make belief on the playground and whatever with some like fellow schoolmates and other friends. I played a lot of World of Warcraft growing up, and I used to always love to like write a backstory and try to like make a story for my characters and follow the lore of all the different worlds and characters going on. I love stories in like most games. I didn't really go fully into roleplay until much later. I kind of dabbled a little bit here and there seeing in WoW, but the main tipping point of actually doing roleplay was seeing it like in VR chat and like doing it in VR chat itself. That was like my main
see.
big dive into it. And I actually more started in open metaverse roleplay. My first main roleplay sphere was Purple Lotus, actually.
Very nice.
Hmm.
I haven't heard
I
that
know
in
that's
forever.
definitely dusting off the old uniform. Gosh.
I'm old. I already see the beard growing. It's fine.
Cargunk.
God. Swear to
Oh god.
God. Oh.
Mhm. So how about you, Pandas?
I mean, I feel like it's very similar to other people's experiences, like whether it's playing pretend when you're a kid, drinking from the hose water, or other massive multi-online player games. Like I know many people play Final Fantasy. You talked about Warcraft. Like it's like a lot of us kind of had that similar upbringing. The same thing with me. I'd play games with my friends, and we all have the same reaction when your character got hit. You'd be like, "Ow, ow!" Like you're in pain yourself. You'd embrace your character, or you'd make a character that you would represent as yourself. And that idea of portraying a story or a character, I think, kind of runs in a lot of us, and similar with me too.
Very, very nice. Awesome. The inner imaginations of the mind slowly growing from our little children selves to what we are today. And I love that we're able to really immerse ourselves in that childlike behavior and being able to explore things that we never thought we could. And I think that's really, really cool with how VR chat roleplay has extended and become more and more of a thing.
Absolutely.
God, the amount of OCs people make from child to now.
Oh yeah. Oh god. I
I
The
can't
amount of
even
OCs I
count
had
the
as a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, never did theater. I never did theater either. So I never was like a theater kid or anything like
Really?
that. Yep. Just all friends, just being involved with friends and doing stuff. So I'm as amateurish I think as it comes.
Oh, you're a very good actor.
No, thank you. I try. There are
Mm-hmm.
way better, especially in this community. Eden Lost has some actually amazing talent in here. Just God. Imposter syndrome's real.
Don't forget to give yourself some credit.
Nah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, but yeah, it's been great.
Good, good, good. So I heard you say a little bit about when you first started doing roleplay, and you had brought up a little bit of Purple Lotus. What exactly did you do while being in the Purple Lotus?
Oh gosh. Well, remember how I was talking about my my OCs as a young kid? Well, I had one that stuck around for the longest time that, as some people did way back in the Wild West days, usually you make the character that represents and follows suit of your username. So I reimagined them. I did a bit of research around the roleplay sphere in VRC, like some different lore that was there, such as for the Void, and made my character to bring in at first. And I had them like just slowly grow. They were a demonic character that basically was kind of a bit of a neutral-ish character I tried to play as, but would be like, oh, hey, if you need help with something, I can do a deal, get me some souls, and then I'm good. You don't need to give me your soul, just get me some souls. And a lot of people didn't like that, and I got pushed into a villain role very quickly.
Oh, yeah.
To a point where,
Brutal.
because I was busy with college, I got imprisoned by the Lotus consensually. So I was away for a good few months. And then eventually, they let me make a new character who is Crass, my human druid alchemist that worked at the Lotus for a long time.
Oh man.
I see. And then how about you both? Where did you both start when it came to roleplay?
So when it came to VR chat, a kind of similar-ish vein actually. Way back in when I was in high school, Ruby was new, like brand new, and
Oh my god.
and I was like, well, I fell in love with the universe immediately. I watched Red vs. Blue growing up a little bit as a kid. So like just like Rooster Teeth stuff. And when I was in, I think it was my science class, it was our science lab, and the guy I sat next to, we both had similar interests. So he's like, hey, have you heard of this new animated series coming from the Rooster Teeth guys? It's called Ruby. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. So I looked into it and I saw the Colors trailer, and I like immediately fell for it. I was like, wow, like this is awesome. Monty, rest his soul. It was just so great. It was amazing. And then when the season started, I was really into it, and I made my first ever kind of full-fledged, at least like you mentioned, when you're making OCs when you're a kid, but this was like the first OC. We all know them that you really put the most effort and thought into. This was that character for me. When I saw Summer Rose, Ruby's mom, I was like, wow, okay, I think Winter would be a great name for a character. And of course, like Owl, so it's going to be an owl girl named Winter. And then for those who know the series, Winter Schnee was introduced very shortly after, and I was like, shit. It's like, so now I tried to stick with it for a little bit, but then people are getting confused and they're like, oh, Winter this? I'm like, no. So,
No.
but from there, I had a friend, I think it was Orlando Saka, old Orlando Saka. I had a friend that was going to it, and eventually I was very like, wanting to get involved. And one day I was like, screw it, I'll just come join you. So I didn't put a ton of thought into the character. I was like, they'll be ironically in the opposite end. They were an angel. They were a guardian angel that was sent to like be in training and watch over this person being my friend. I just named them Winter. I grabbed like a really like just casual model, social model I had for the time, and I just jumped into it. And I went to Orlando Saka for a day, and then from there I got my teeth cut in a roleplay called Blackstone, and that's where I stayed for the majority of my time as my character until I eventually started to shift into a little bit more of the private RP scene, from Wardens with Sophie and a few others. And from there, I just kind of fell full Kool-Aid with the more closed off RPs from the metaverse, and I would do. There's kind of like a couple of friend ones that I'm doing. I recently got accepted into ND Official. So there's like a bunch of them that I've been doing. So I've just been really on that horse. But yeah, it all started with Ruby. I'll have to go back to it.
Nice.
Nice.
Very nice.
Crazy the differences you get.
Yeah.
Grandiose angel-looking avatar and angel character, undead void demon that uses the Dark Souls 3 dragon form.
Oh
model.
man.
Super skinny, lanky.
My character was not that grandiose looking. Like maybe after the show, so we're not like swapping models a ton. I'll show you. But she is she was like a kind of gothy in her appearance. It was not like this be not afraid type of character. No wings, no halo, just why not? I needed an excuse. Gave her the name, stole winner, gave it to her, and go get him, champ. You know, see, I didn't want to put a ton of effort into something I wasn't sure if I'd like, and well, I guess you could see where that led us. So here we are.
Were you someone of the Father, Son, the Holy Glock?
Oh, God, I didn't even have weapons. It was just I literally like could have just been Jane person, just dumping her into a world like just confused. I was like, I don't know what anything is. I need an excuse to be completely oblivious. So I was like,
Just
whatever.
figure it out.
Yeah, I was like, okay, I'm gonna follow my friend around like a lost puppy, and I saw a lot of the metaverse stuff for what it was, and it was about as crazy as it was. It still has been.
Yep.
So, you know, that's kind of where that is.
I forgot the question.
What was your?
I was
You're so enthralled by the stories.
I know,
that
it was
just-
like there's so much comparison and like contrast.
It was. What was your first role play? For VR.
Oh, Eden.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Before Eden Lost, I was doing more improv night. There's like workshops and stuff, and so that was a group my friend started when he took IRL classes, and pandemic happened, so he couldn't take those IRL classes anymore. But he still wanted to do it because he still found a lot of benefit in the fundamentals of improv. And so online he met me. He was like, "Hey, you want to do a thing with me?" I was like, "What is it?" He goes, "I'm trying to start up a group." I was like, "Okay." And then next thing you know, we've been doing the group for 3+ years, and I met all the leaders in the group in person. Went to Burning Man with them, but during that, I was like, I wonder what else I could do with this. Like, and so I looked on Twitch to see what other people are doing on VR chat, and I found Owls streaming Eden Lost, and I was like, what is this? And they're like, it's roleplay in VR chat, and it's this world, and it's super cool. I'm like, how does someone get involved in this? I'm like, here, join my Discord. I'll send you an invite. I'm like, that was really easy. Thanks. And then join the Discord.
You are
Very
you are the
nice.
type of person I wish I got in some of the chats. God bless the people that follow sometimes, but they're like, "Hey, what is this?" I'm like, "Oh, it's VR chat roleplay. Oh, can we do dinosaur roleplay tomorrow?" I'm like, I respect the enthusiasm. It's a little more. It's a little more, It's like, and I'm just like, I respect it.
Beasts are close to dinosaurs sometimes,
God,
right?
God bless the person if you're out there watching. I love you. It's just, it was.
Looks very much like a prehistoric creature of some sort, for sure.
They're like, they hear that. I'm like, I have to tell them, I'm like, I respect it, but like, it's not that simple. And I explain a little bit to them, and I of course encourage them to look in and check out other people and stuff like that. But it's always funny where they're like, "Hey, what's this?" And I'm like, "Oh, it's this. Hey, can we do this?" I'm like,
And to be fair, too,
I guess, yeah.
Eden Lost, like, there's now like a vouch system. There's more security than just having the floodgates open. And I was just before that, I think. So I kind of
Yeah.
got lucky timing in that regard, I suppose.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Good times.
Okay. Very good times. So compared to other RPs that you've done, this is going to be interesting for you because this is your first time being in a VR chat roleplay. How does it compare to other roleplays that you've done? And with you, how does it compare being in your first roleplay in general? Like, how does it feel?
Oh, so when I first started, I had no idea what to expect. I realized the benefit of like knowing some avatar editing skills and whatnot, and navigating the things that most people say, yeah, make sure you have an out of character toggle, make sure you have like those little things you learn to process. But Eden Lost was my very first experience, and I was having a lot of fun playing Leonie. And how it worked was, they had like the applications of, we need these people, and there was like a nurse medical, and I was like, I could do that. That's why I do IRL. So I'm like, I could do that. I could just do what I do for work in roleplay. That's what he did. And my very first episode that I joined Eden Lost was when the Forge Breaker turned into a demon bird, and everyone was being injured and dying and coming to the hospital.
Great start.
Oh no!
Yeah, what a great episode to start
Great,
on.
great start.
I was like, well, I'm glad I work in the emergency department because this is right up my alley. So I just did that. I just went to work.
Just thrown directly into the fire, why don't you?
That was, and I was like the only one in the hospital, and someone else like helped out a little bit later on too. And they're like, "How long have you been role playing? You're really good at this." I'm like, funny you should ask. This is my very first time, my very first day. Like, you're so good at medical role play. I'm like, it makes my job. It's really weird. But other than that, compared to other role plays, there's some things that are pretty consistent that I really, really appreciate in the role play community, which is like just general safety and communication with the participants. Like, hey, if for any reason you need to like leave or get out, go. Or, when it's end of combat, there's like a break period, you get, okay, make sure you drink your water, make sure you breathe, go bathroom. Everyone's kind of checking up on each other, and that's pretty consistent throughout most of the role plays I've been a part of. I know after Eden, I participated in Rosewood and Ascension Academy and Aegis and Meatrax Metaverse stuff, and many more just kind of opened up. It's like, hey, what you free this day? And I was like, I am now. What's up? Just checking out some of those places, doing NPC, APC, SCP, all essentially saying the support, not long-term character roles, and so that's kind of there's consistencies and inconsistencies for depending, because you have role plays that are like Eden that's more city based, right? And you have other ones that have more traveling. You have other ones that are more like single, like main story progression. There's like
More
multiple
linear,
story progression. So there's
Linear
there's
like town building
so
type of
many
RPs,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I recently joined Warden as well, and also Neon Divide, and so there's just so many different variations. I feel like if someone's not having more fun in here or there, that there's so many role plays out there now, which learning even from some of the other peers that there only used to be like 3 or 4, and now they've absolutely just bloomed. And so there's so many options out there and so many participants in the community that are contributing to map creation, hi Sophie, or avatar creation, or so many of these incredible, whether it's you're contributing because of your acting skills or your map or character designs. It's just all incredible that everyone can come together to kind of push the story and narrative, and it's nothing but fun and learning, and I meet awesome people. A lot of people I met this goober IRL too. It's a role play.
Nice. She's even helping organize a role play too.
Oh, okay.
I am so not good at it though. I just like documentation, so I'm just like helping people like the documentation things in a giant forum on a Discord.
Oh man,
This is
hey, that's
important
important
too.
though. My God.
Yeah, that's so
Yes,
important.
it
That's so
is.
important. And can I just say that you being like an actual like medical personnel, that you're able to put what you've learned into your role play is like the coolest thing ever to me, because my favorite thing to do in role play is medical RP, and it's like I have no idea what I'm doing other than the short amount of lessons that I've learned, and hearing that you're able to like do all this stuff is that's so cool to me.
If anyone has any medical roleplay, I have several documents I can send you. All time
Please, please,
please.
Oh man.
God,
Yes, please. Oh, I beg of thee.
No, I got you. I will send you an unnecessary amount of documents. I made one for Eden because Missy Ma was playing Rena. She's like, I feel like you being actual medical, I don't know how to. Like, I got you. Like, wrote a document, send it her way. I'm like, here you go.
Yes.
Oh man.
Awesome.
God, the amount of basic stuff that I know for medical roleplay, because I also enjoy medical roleplay from time to time as well, but I only know that more just because of, on the opposite side, I used to be in the hospital so much.
Oh,
so I
no.
know a lot more of different procedures. Nah, it's all fine. It's all fine. I'm better now.
Partying too hard.
She turned me into a newt. I
No,
got better.
just child health conditions technically.
Oh,
It's,
I
it's
gotcha,
nothing
man.
too bad. Nah, yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
I
gotcha,
I kind of fall in the middle because I was a active duty combat arms for the Army, U.S. Army. I used to be in the 82nd Airborne Division. I was a combat engineer, so I learned like combat lifesaver stuff where I knew how to stop people from dying, but not the more intensive stuff. Like I when pandas came in as Leani and I saw just how well they were flowing, I could tell immediately. Like real, sort of like in
You
the
know I
same
breathe.
vein of real recognizes real. I could tell. I'm like, oh, you do this, don't you? I was like, I could tell. I was like, you do this for a living, don't you? So I almost am a little bit of the opposite, where it's like, I have to stop myself as Osiris from doing some things or like knowing some things, but it's like not medically related, of course. I'll be the first to say I'm definitely not official. Yeah, definitely that. But like with other things that I witness, it's like the opposite, where I have to stop myself from knowing stuff instead of being able to like lean into it. Where it's like I know it, but Osiris wouldn't or likely wouldn't. So it's like I have to kind of bite my finger and be like, what's that thing? It's like I don't know.
Oh,
So
I feel you.
so
I'm learning with other role plays. I'll see people do something and be like, "Oh, this is their blood pressure." I'm like, I just mute myself. Like,
yeah, and I always feel so bad too. I always feel so bad where it's like I'm trying to do medical thing. Obviously, like we're playing pretend. I'm trying to do medical thing, but it's like when I have like the real deal with me and I'm doing stuff, and it's like I'm probably like just like
pass me the cat. I know what you mean.
it's like I can almost imagine how like teeth grinding it must be sometimes when you seriously know the stuff. And of course, we're all playing pretend, but I know sometimes you look at it and it's like, let me fix the thing.
Out of all the role play things we're doing, everyone has done amazing. Except one person. I don't know who you are, but you tourniqueted someone's neck. I will find you and I will scold you. Whoever you are.
But that's how you stop the bleeding, obviously. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke.
That works.
Oh
So
man.
much better now.
But but to go back to the
These dicks.
to go back to the initial question really quick. I am the opposite as well, where Eden is the last formal role play, I guess you could say, that I've joined. It started, my addiction, if you will, started with Wardens, and then from there I jumped to a few kind of smaller, more private, I guess you could say, groups that were like closed off or away from the metaverse, and then, excuse me. Sorry, coffee.
Bless you.
So, when I joined Eden, I was blown away. Firstly, when I joined, I didn't know, I'm going to be honest, 95% of the player base. I came in, I didn't know you, I didn't know anyone. I picked up on a few people like Sophie and a few people that weren't around. Or like I said, Oracle's the one that got me in. Actually, it all started because I reached out to Oracle and I forgot if it was maybe their birthday or maybe there was just something going on. I was like, hey, how you holding up? I hope you've been doing okay. We haven't really talked in a while. I feel bad for that. I'm only one person. I always feel super bad about it. I'm like, there's not enough time, not enough ability for me to reach out to enough people during the day, and I feel terrible. But I was able to get with them. I'm like, what are you doing? I think I'd like to try to get involved in some projects that you're in. Maybe like it'd be fun to roleplay with you again. And they're like, oh, well, Eden Lost is about to get started or is going to be getting started here pretty soon. Are you interested? I'm like, well, what's Eden Lost? And they gave me the premise and like the idea of it. I'm like, that could be kind of cool. So I joined, and I I think when I finally got Osiris cleared and brought in, it was week 2 of the role play, like the actual second session that things got going. So, but I was still, I felt way out of my depth. This was the first time where I'm looking at some people and I got a little bit of stage fright. You know, nothing obviously against the people in the communities have curated. They deserve it. They worked really hard for it. You know, God bless them. But I was looking and I'm like, how many people are watching? So there's like 3 people they're having a conversation with, but that could be like 500 people collectively that are all staring at you. And I'm just like, please like me. So it's scary, but God, like in that same vein, I have to say Eden has probably one of the most seriously like talented and just devoted community. I gotta be honest. It's one of the largest, just filled with so much talent, and I'm faltering to find the right words to say, but it's just insane. I have almost not seen the amount of art and projects like this, for example, and the videos that people made. The project that I helped Sophie with the one group, and we were going to Vanderhall, and just all sorts of stuff, and how that all came together, and just I have never seen anything quite like it before, and it is just incredible. So as far as it shapes up with other role plays, I would say in terms of scale, like not only just in massive players, but also in like just grand scale community efforts for things, this one has to be bar none probably the most that I've ever seen. So it's just crazy to see, and it's still going. So, you know, it's awesome to see all the love and effort that people put into the project. So that's what I'd probably have to say about it. I'm still in a lot of the other role plays as well that I started with, but man, Eden is just something else, truly.
I think a little bit of that has to deal with, like, some of us are just so wildly obsessed with Eden, like,
Yeah.
as a proven example, as myself, here interviewing you all.
It's great. It's great
But-
though, truly. This is stuff like this is fantastic.
Not me setting my work schedule around Eden Lost. No, definitely not.
Oh God.
Oh gosh. But yeah, like for me personally, it's very interesting because like I've been in a lot of metaverse like open role plays that are very open with their storytelling and like very larger scale in some regards, similar to Eden. Like Orlando Soccer can be a good example at times of time, but that's a lot smaller stories that go on that are shorter one-offs or like happen more sparsely, and it feels a lot less constructed versus then being in a closed off role play like my like being in Ascension Academy, where it is very story focused and feels very condensed, but it feels very like you're following a very narrative story, and it doesn't feel nearly as open. Eden feels like a very strange in-between, where it feels both like a very living and open world, where people are telling their own stories while everyone is still following that main narrative story. So like multiple things are going on at the same time while there's still the overarching main story happening, and a lot of things are even affecting that main overarching story happening at the same time. So it's very interesting and very fun to like think about and experience at the same time. Yeah, feels very like free form, very like fun to be a part of and experience. Like it's just been a great time, honestly.
Very unique blend of linear storytelling, but with like, I want to say open world. It seems not correct, but it's like just you hit the nail on the head. There's a very obvious story that the players are all involved, or like the cast is all involved with, and they're all pushing towards. But there is also these like there's a plethora of stuff that's going on as well on the sides and whatnot. It's like it's a lot. I don't blame the admins for taking time off. It must be insane
No,
how much
absolutely.
must be insanity. I can only imagine how much like they're just buried in stuff. I can only imagine it. It's why I feel like always nervous trying to reach out to them. I'm like, hey guys, I know it's your job or sort of job, but like, can I ask you a thing? And
Yeah, right.
I feel
Oh,
that
gosh.
too.
It's one of those
Yeah.
things where you love the admin so much that you don't want to put more on their plate as much as you still want to like be able to get more from the plate to help build what they have going on. It's like, I know you want me to reach out, but are you sure it's okay to do that?
yeah, I'm like terrified to ask for stuff as Osiris. I'm like, cause now I'm fighting with, well, not totally, but it's like there's like 40 other people that are all going for their stuff, and I'm just like, I'm like, I'm always like, you guys do your thing, and you know, so it's just crazy. I can only imagine.
I totally understand that the hesitation of like, you all are doing so great and you have so much to do, and can I ask for me to do some stuff too and such. Yeah, I get that a lot too. It can be nerve-wracking, and especially when you don't want to be in an inconvenience in any way. But I will let you guys know, as someone who as someone who knows the admin team very well, that they do very much love hearing about your ideas and et cetera, and being able to appeal to as many people as possible. So
Yeah. I
Don't be
can
afraid.
actually second that. I can second that as knowing a good amount of them for so long, even though I'm still in the same boat sometimes because of being on the other end.
Yeah, we'll get into a bit of that definitely. Like at least for me personally, like once we get later down in the questions. So definitely, but we'll circle back to this.
yes, absolutely. So, getting into more of the roleplay questions related to Eden Lost. I know, and just to make sure that I'm getting this right, all of you are APCs, correct?
That's correct.
Could you possibly tell me what, like, pretend that I have no idea what an APC is. Could you inform me on what that is?
So, an APC, in a similar respect, stands for assisting player character, which there are some other spaces that have a similar role, such as the SCP in Neon Divide, which is a support player cast. And it goes along where basically it's another sort of player cast to an extent, who will also help fulfill other roles to help tell different parts of the story. Whereas, you know, you have the wardens or the PCs, the player cast or player characters, and then sometimes the APCs will help assist in doing things such as NPC work or non-player characters, because they help to like facilitate the world more. But the reason why they're APCs is because they still are players and are still telling their own stories. They're just helping to facilitate and grow the world as a whole, versus be the like one of the players that are like following the main directive story full-heartedly. So like an APC could still like go in and out of that main story and still follow through a lot of that main story and world. But then at other times you could just be an APC that sits in front of a forge and just, you know, hammers away at an anvil all day. If you wanted to, sort of thing.
Yeah, I'd say pretty similar, but I guess for me, when I would think of like an APC, either assisting, I've also heard it as assisting player cast, like an assisting player cast role, where you are a means to push story or plot hooks for players, although you yourself are not. Saying you're not a focus feels like bad, but that's kind of what it is, where you are the guild masters, you are the quest givers, you are the professors. If we were to look at Eden, you are the professors, you are a means to help push and explain things but you yourself are not a main player cast member. It's weird. It's a very muddled area. This is the first time actually I can say that I've played a proper named NPC character. I've NPC'd and I've done my part in a lot of other role plays. So let me be clear, but most of them I've either been like, I'm my player character, but then when needed, I jump in and I NPC. And it's usually been one or the other, where I'm either John Thug or I'm my character. So being in this kind of middle ground, how I've interpreted it is I'm like a role that might be traditionally held up by, I'd say, a DM, for example. But because of the scale of Eden Lost, that would be a lot if there was all these roles that had to be fulfilled by just like the DM. So you are how I've always interpreted the role pretty much is just you are a means to help assist, facilitate, or push things with or for players. If a character was to come up to Osiris and ask medical related stuff, even if I didn't properly know, I would see it as my station to try to use my position or otherwise to help the cast, because they outreach to me, and as such I am now desiring to fulfill in a way my role. We're doing it a little bit here in the current arc where we all got split up and Osiris was put to help with the pre-calamity stuff. So the first thing I did was I got everyone together in my group and I said, what do you want to know more about? And for a lot of the group, Milo, Axel, and a few others, they're like, pre-calamity, religious stuff, or otherwise. I'm like, okay. So then I made it my goal for the past few sessions to just go around and gather as much information as I possibly could to fulfill that. So I see that as kind of the role that the APCs fulfill, is the providers or facilitators to assist with stuff like that.
Being that Eden Lost was my first roleplay experience, hearing APC versus like NPC, because at that point I jumped in deep into roleplay for sure. Once I first initiated and just kind of spectated Eden Lost, did a lot of NPC, got quickly invited into a few others. With APC, like I think it's labeled as assisted player character, like assisting player character, which I always thought was just a longer term NPC. It was kind of how I viewed it when I was first given the role and the title. Like, you get to replay your person regularly versus like the cannon fodder, like little guys or the grunts, so to speak, is usually referred to in many other role plays. When it comes to Eden Lost, it has, because like you said, Neon Divide has like SCPs and you have NPCs. You have reoccurring characters, and APC being a reoccurring NPC of sorts. I know that they're like, you, as you both kind of elaborate on, there are stories that happen. Like we had a story with Kargunk. We had stories with you. You got kidnapped. You got jumped. So there's stories that can happen with the APCs. But as it was kind of explained, the primary narrative or story plot happens to be with the warding candidates and just generally the state of Eden and how post-calamity and trying to bring back Eden. And so when it comes to that, it is at the time more unique perspective to have like a reoccurring NPC. It seems to have kind of adjusted here and there a little bit here and there when it comes to focus stories, or story weaves is another term I got to learn. Plugins, different nodes, different points from different players, but ultimately it's for the goal of, my understanding is just so that you don't have a bunch of people just being cannon fodder. Like, yeah, be a random citizen 1, be a towns kid 2. Like there's someone you can go to and build a character with.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like even when I first started in Eden, I had a similar thought process to you where it's like, oh yeah, I'm just playing like this character in this world, still like doing this, but I'm still technically like NPC adjacent, so I'm still here to help facilitate a story for the world and be used by the DMs as they see fit. But later on was more explained and told when asking certain questions, like if I should know certain things, if I should be like knowing or doing certain things. It's like, if you want to try and figure that out, you can, since you still are a player. You are still telling your own story, and you're just doing it in your part of the world. You might not always be doing everything like right beside the wardens or anything, but like your story is still evolving on its own as well. You are still playing your own character, and you are still a player in this world. So it's like, it's technically also to help facilitate stories for the main players, as well as be a separate player cast, which is why now they even have like town DMs that they've adjusted to and things like that. And then even have people reach out for story weaves and have different things go on, such as like what Pandas was saying with Karguk actually having a large story weave go on, which had been planned out for so long until it finally actually came to fruition. Like I want to say here, that story weave started its gears in motion before you guys went to Runewald.
Oh, wow.
wow.
Yeah, like the first thing that happened when like gang members came to talk to Karguk to have him like kind of under duress and start doing stuff was when there was like a big picture of like all the APCs sitting in front of like a bench in front, like in nice bright sunlight. Everyone's just having a nice chill time. And then in the background, you see me working at the forge in that same picture. Yeah, it had just happened before that picture was taken.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dang, that is crazy. Holy crap.
Yeah, so some things do take some time to like actually get worked on as well to like start stories moving, but you know, once they actually start getting going, sometimes they grow and evolve into stuff like much bigger. Like even Karguk's story was supposed to be like kind of a bit smaller, and then eventually Lulu was like, ooh, I see a fun thing, yoink, let's make a cool arc out of this. And thus the gang arc happened.
I see. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me happy knowing that there's a little bit of interactions with your characters actually being able to get storylines and things happen to your characters instead of it being purely for a basis of pushing the story forward.
Mm-hmm.
Were you gonna say something, Sin?
Oh no, just like, wow, that's crazy. I didn't realize it started that long ago.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we were in talks, like I was helping try to set up some stuff with them for a good bit of time, which, you know, things happen and stuff happens, but
Well, with a
it all turned out great.
crew this big, there's so many pieces to the puzzle.
Yeah.
too, and
There's
trying to
so many
fit
cogs.
Oh
everyone.
yeah.
So
Yeah,
many
trying to
cogs.
get everything to make it make sense, and you know, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but there's not a massive team, right?
No,
There's just the
there's
people
really
who help
not.
with map. There's people who help with avatars, and then like there's the admin and like DM team, and like even that, considering what our lobbies push 60-70 people each session,
Yep.
that's just nutty. Like there's
Yep.
just no way I can imagine having to, you know, everyone being like, I want this thing to happen, and having 2, 3, 4 people be like, okay, well we'll add that to the list as it rolls down the street.
Yeah.
Well, I know that the admin team is actually doing more to like help integrate more people into the team. Like, for instance, the mission DMs that are
Yep.
currently being added to the as well. So hopefully the team will continue to keep growing, and like more people will be able to be not only integrated into the generalized team, but also more APCs and characters are able to get more out of the roleplay in general.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great to see, even like with the mission DMs, to have like in a way, I guess more things to even facilitate for the townsfolk to help kind of even push and help people more understand the like point of view to that the townsfolk aren't just assisting NPCs to help push stories only and actually like try to be more their own characters.
Yeah, for sure.
Mhm.
So, hearing now that you all have been in several different role plays before, is a APC something new to you? Is it something that you've seen in other role plays? Like, is it something that magically bursted into existence?
Oh, we're all gonna be
Yeah,
again.
Well, he started last time, so it feels fair.
I think the terminology was new to me. Given gaming history, we feel like NPC is a pretty familiar terminology for anyone who's played games and avoids touching grass. That being said, APC made sense to me as somebody who you don't want just somebody who shows up as like cannon fodder. You want a reoccurring character, but the terminology APC wasn't at that time new to me. It has different names now too, like SCP, or if you just have everyone's titled, like everyone's part of the cast, and then you have like cast focus. Like there's a couple different ways, but it's similar terminology. But APC in itself was new. I think the concept of a reoccurring non-main focus character, or like a reoccurring NPC of sorts, can be seen in many different role plays. But I guess the APC itself is something I've only really seen with Eden Lost in particular.
Yeah, like usually the reoccurring like named NPC you usually see, and it's like, okay, yeah, you're the person that shows up every so often here and there. You help do this and whatever. This is the first roleplay I've actually experienced being an APC, because I've heard of SCPs before, and to my understanding, I had thought that it was a similar thing to just being a named NPC. But no, this has been like, it was very much a new experience that was very different and in a way kind of eye-opening at some points.
For me, it's weird because I've heard of the idea of APCs before, but normally either it was because of the scale of the roleplay or the type of roleplay that I was involved with. The APC, if you will, role would usually be delegated to DMs. So rather than it being an APC, those would be DM PCs. So like your admin characters, if you will, that would come in and they would facilitate things. Again, usually it's a scale thing where when you're not getting, you mentioned like 60, 70 people a lobby, where admins with the scale or the numbers that they have could afford to jump in and out and insert, important or named like NPC type character here or there, recurring NPC character here or there. I have also heard of SCP being thrown around a few times before, but I've actually seen a few roleplays that choose to use the term SCP over the term NPC because the owners feel like NPC feels degrading, I suppose, is like the term for it, where people don't really like to feel like they're just Joe crap beneath the boot, So having some of it's almost like a terminology type of thing for some role plays. So I've heard a lot of the different kind of soup that there is for the different variations of insert PC, SCP, PC, APC. So the makings were all there for it, but just like he said, I have only ever been a proper APC in Eden. I've helped out. I've been supporting cast for a lot of different groups and role plays, but this would be the first that I have been in my role, especially for as long as I have been. So this is my first and longest assisting kind of player cast, or like non-main cast type of character. So
Got that whole alphabet soup going on.
absolutely. LMNOP, God bless, I respect it, but it was like, okay, so APC, so where does like that fall? That was the biggest, I guess, challenge, was like, where does this fall into, if you will, the hierarchy with Eden, where it almost feels like I don't want to say there's like a structure to it, but it's like, you know what I mean? Like I am in Rosewood as well, or I'm in the server. Let me correct that. I'm in the server for Rosewood, and I've seen some of the different things thrown around there too, but I haven't been properly involved. So this would be the first time where I have seen it and am what I am for as long as I have.
All right. So let's get into my favorite questions of the night. If we are good to continue on, anyone have any lasting statements about that?
Zenkio's running back and forth back there.
Let him have the zoomies.
Just saw him pacing really fast back and forth back there.
Call me out like this.
I just saw it. You know, I had to.
Con 4K.
I do the same thing. Don't worry. I jump around when I'm in random voice calls, so I get it. I was just curious.
It prevents stick drag, some people say, okay? It just gotta move.
Man, movement stimming? Let's go.
Oh God. But yeah.
Yes. Okay. So, who is your character, and tell me a little bit about them? Who wants to go first? The floor is open.
We each started last.
I'm in the middle. I got middle privileges. I got middle kid privileges. Whatever those are, the forgotten privileges. No.
We have both agreed. We've looked at you.
All right. So, Osiris was born. I actually test ran him with a smaller group. Initially, his name was Caesar, and he was an epidemiologist. So he was a scientist that was all about studying infectious diseases, kind of like a pathologist, but those two can be misconstrued sometimes. TLDR, guy who studies illnesses and diseases, pathogen, or like, you know, stuff like that. And I liked it. Same base, same green hair, all that pretty much. I just adapted him to Eden. But that was Caesar. I changed his name to Osiris. I like the name a bit better. But he is a scientist from Ashbourne. I've always liked the idea or the trope of the noble, if you will, the noble type character in a bad place. And when I was reading Ashbourne stuff, I'm like, wow, this is effed up. I was like, wow, this is wild. So there was a bit of me that's like, what if I made a character that was from the region, but he had like a big heart and he cared a lot. So when I brought him in, I made him kind of anxious of the candidates, made him very anxious of the kind of the staff and like the power that they held. But he grew a fondness towards certain characters like Sevi, for example, Iku, Walter Salem, a lot of those characters that were, I guess, kind of from a similar situation. And another thing I do whenever I come to these kinds of role plays, which is probably to a detriment, I never come into the role plays with like a preconceived end goal or like long-term kind of idea for the character. I usually like to drop my character in the world and have the events of the world, the narrative or otherwise, mold my characters as incentives so I can have it feel more natural or organic to the things that have occurred in the setting. So I dropped him in, and Osiris is definitely not the same person that he was when he first joined. It's been great, and we're in a little bit of an interesting spot with that, but we'll get to that in a bit. But he is a scientist from Ashbourne who dabbles a bit in medical research, and has just kind of been with the candidates, went out to Vanderhall and the Fire Shrine on Cord, nearly died at least once or twice out there in the sands of Vanderhall, but he's stuck with the crew since week 2, and he's still going. He's got a little core now, a little arcane core, something else we'll get into, and yeah, so that's kind of where we're at now with him.
Mm-hmm.
I know one of you pick.
No,
So who's
you.
gonna win? Who's gonna win staring
you.
contest? All right, yeah.
You.
all right, fine.
Your
So
character doesn't blink.
exactly. So, oh gosh, where do I start with Karguk? Gosh, he's a very interesting character from conception because I first made him to try and be a candidate, which then, when I didn't get it as a candidate, I used him as inspiration for my character Dars in Ascension Academy. And then when I got the APC role, I used that inspiration of Dars to revisit Karguk. And an interesting thing to find his background, I was going between two models. I went to Lulu to see which one would be best to use for an orc, because not many people were really making orcs. And there was one that was a lot more like scrawnier, one from like Lord of the like one of the Lord of the Rings games that I could have used, or this one. And Lulu gave me the idea. He really liked this one, and said you should go from Ashbourne with it. So I wrote up Karguk being a orc from Ashbourne who doesn't remember a lot of his childhood due to everything he went through, but eventually was given a identity, let out to live on the streets. He eventually followed a passion for metalwork and moved to Fortis for a good few years. I think like 10 or 15 years. Where now found out due to the gang arc, he was treated very poorly at that time from gangs and other workers at Fortis, to a point where he was basically like attacked in a back alley and defended himself and nearly killed people then, and went on the run, bringing himself to Reinhold, where he eventually met some people, helped him get him back on his feet, moved into the main city, and when trying to start a business, was given funding from the school to help make the Forge Front, which then, you know, he helped out with the school and was brought over to the Lindell, like, warding candidate starting tests and everything each year. When we started in Lindell, when Eden started, that was technically his second time doing it.
It's okay.
Oh.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh
it's-
fuck!
it's
I'm
one
so
of those
sorry,
fun
guys.
things.
Oh fuck! I'm so
'Cause I know,
sorry.
like, even later on, like, Karguk's more tried to figure out what he is going on
Fuck.
with him.
I've been
'cause
trying to
he's
keep
on the
muted. I've
opposite
been having
end
some
where,
reflux.
later found out it seems
I'm
like
so
he
sorry.
might be actually have been experimented on by Tenebris. So
Oh.
going to Osiris to figure that out, because like actual scales and such, very, very
I talked about
hard
his backstory.
scale-like,
That was just me talking
metal
about Osiris'
teeth, metal
backstory.
claws, not very normal when you
Like,
first
like how
consider it.
we got to the candidates.
Because, like, when I first made Karguk, he was supposed to just be, like, you know, very to himself, hiding his face because of what he had been through in Fortis, and hiding who he was. But because of how all the candidates were, and through the people he met, he, near the end of Lindell, showed his face, finally, for once.
I think I'm just gonna stay on
Just to
muted.
like try it out, try to be more comfortable. When we went back to Raiden, when we went back to Raiden, when we
No,
went
I
back
hope
to
not.
Reinhold, I did it again where he was wearing his mask again. People kind of asked him why. He slowly was taking it off. When gang stuff started, he was wearing it more again, and was being a lot more stressful and everything.
Mm.
But yeah, he's definitely like he's got two stories going on, both where he is figuring himself out and trying to understand, like, he wants to figure out his past, which has been a more goal that's like kind of always been there, but has now been more cemented because of being able to have character interaction. But then also is the town's blacksmith, and has been brought on by Valdris to help with the Star Forge and help with the candidates more and actually work at the school now. So, yeah.
Mm.
I'm getting distracted by the squirrel behind the bar table.
Watching you, squirrel.
Thumbs up. I can confirm he is very hard-skinned. Needles. You mean needles? This guy is broke. In my office, so bendy.
They have to put needles into Karguk's ears just to get like blood samples and stuff.
Part. It's the only squishy part. Have I done it before, IRL? No.
Trying to make sharper needles. We'll get through.
I've dealt with enough needles in my life.
We'll chisel. We'll chisel through the scales and we'll get in there.
Just take a little.
Oh goodness.
Oh god, please no.
Oh god.
Imagine trying to go under like the equivalent of a fingernail, but it's
Oh.
instead.
Ow.
No, thank you.
Absolutely not. No
Oh.
thanks.
Okay.
We have tools for that, but
Oh.
Go
We have ways.
So anyway,
with Leonie, so her story is she's a half elf, but she's half human, half moon elf. She's from Vanderhall. She doesn't remember a lot of it, but she was there when the shield fell, and she was rescued by somebody named Buck, and learned all of her medical experiences from that man. They traveled throughout different cities, throughout different districts within different cities, doing kind of under-the-table medical work, and she would assist and learn from that. And from there, one day he would go off on, not missions, but jobs that he would say, "Oh, Leonie, you gotta stay put. This is like a, bit more risky job," but could suspect a numeral amount of things as to why. And this time he did the same thing, and he left and he didn't return. And after 3 days, Leonie's like, "This is not normal. This is not his usual thing." She waited about 2 more days and then decided to go look for him. And that's where she ended up in Reinhold after a rumor spotted him. And she found a perfect way into medical because given the exact same day that she arrived, they really needed a lot of medical individuals because, Demon Bird. So
Oh,
she
man.
was there and she got integrated really quick into the medical system. But she kept trying to look into the history of it, and then got to know the candidates, got to know the other civilians, and then learned that, her medical could potentially help. And there was this expedition to Vanderhall and where she went with because she's from there. So she thought maybe she could be helped, maybe some things can be familiar, and then maybe she also can get some clues as to more about Buck because she doesn't know much more about him besides his name is Buck. Well, that's his actual name or alias. She just knows him as Buck. So she goes there, and one of her major story beats happened there where she found a locket by one of the students next to two corpses, which ended up being her parents, which was very, very sad and dramatic for her. But the locket had an individual that looked exactly like Voldorus, but his eye colors were switched. So she realized that she's related to Voldorus at that time as well. So that was a big thing for her. And she's like, well, what the heck does that mean? And so coming back from Vanderhall into Reinhold, questioning what the heck's going on, got to learn more about Voldorus's family history. And she continues to try to get, clues or hints or rumors about him. The school isn't as, she's trying to reach out to her family, but she doesn't know his family, right? You have people who are your family that are friends, people who are your biological family. And she doesn't know Voldorus. Trying to find out more about what happened with Buck and try to get more involved has led to very little outcome in regards to Buck. So she has other means that she has recently involved herself in to find other more under-the-counter methods that has maybe got her into some sticky situations with some individuals that do sticky, messy business that involved maybe a particular doctor no longer being a doctor at the hospital. She got involved in that, Dr. Massey. And
Absolutely,
other
Shan.
miscellaneous
Absolutely.
situations in which she has put her hand in the cookie jar a little too long. So now she is committed to some more potential risky business and behavior to try to get answers. I know she seeks to be more independent in the sense of her strength. Vanderhall was very scary. She almost died. You were too short, so she got hit with the raptor claw. They
Yeah.
literally and Doc was like, that hit me real good. Didn't it? Oh, that hurt.
Short privilege.
Right, you're short. The short king won this time, but so
One of the many short kings of
there's
Eden.
right, and then we had a warden for our character Scout's older sister was being seen at the hospital, and she kind of went a little cuckoo nutso and really,
Oh,
really
God,
banged
yeah.
up Leonie pretty badly. And she's noticing how she's not as capable. So in pursuit to try to become more capable with either healing or just self-defense, she went to seek out potential like specialized cores or a course that could be just for healing. But it's like, hey, you know what? We can't be just giving a course. They're like $20 million. She's like, I only have that in the bank at the moment, unfortunately. So trying to find other ways to not just be just this doctor that gets beat around all the time. So she's pursuing to try to do that. Her motivation is still trying to find Buck. Might lead her out of the city, might lead her to venture out, might have her stay if more clues pop up because Reinhold's one of the bigger ones as well. So it's a progressing story, what I want to do with her, what her plans are. I just kind of let some things happen organically and diegetically, trying to see what happens to the character to make it make sense. But she's been fun. My challenge with her was to, since I myself as Pandas is not a shy, introverted individual, my goal with my first reoccurring character, long form improv, you could say, was to be a shy, more introverted character, which has been very difficult, but also very funny because people after lobby would be like, oh my God, dude, like you're so great at this, and they'd see me as me and they go, wait a second. That's you?
Yeah,
you play
pull
the
off
sweet,
character
nice
very
doctor?
well.
And I'm like, yeah, it's painful every time. Especially when these people at every moment are trying to break your character by saying the most just off the wall things.
I don't do it that often, do I?
Looking at you, Java. Like,
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Good old Java.
Oh, Java, yeah. God, Java.
Love you, Java.
Yep. Oh my goodness.
Absolutely.
Okay. So, listening to everyone's backstory and kind of where they're coming from and like how the character's grown from when they started and to where they are now, would you say, is your character more good leaning or bad leaning? Evil per se?
So
You
evil,
just heard how
straight down
we-
into the trash bin. No, no, I
Punish
do actually
Karguk
think
arc.
that yeah, I do think Karguk is a lot more on the good side of things. To be completely honest, like he started off. He's always been leaning good, and even though he more looked out for himself because he's been very burnt by a lot of people, he has trouble making connections. So, and sometimes even now, he makes very quick, maybe even like unhealthy kind of relationships. Like he like moves very fast into trusting someone accidentally. But I do think he leans a lot more on the good side because he wants to make sure everyone's okay. He wants to make sure everyone's protected. He wants to keep everyone that he trusts and knows as a friend is safe. Which, you know, when hearing Walter and Salem going into the wastes and then passing, you know, having had Walter literally just walk in and get his armor repaired and made some new parts at the shop, give it to him, and then he goes out to the waste, and then immediately it's like, oh,
Yeah.
crap, my stuff wasn't good enough. Oh god, oh fuck.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm so with him there for my own reason. God. Keep going, bro. Holy shit. Oh,
that
man.
hit Karguk super hard. That, like, it hit him so hard. Which, you know, may Walter rest in peace.
Pour
May
one
Walter
out.
rest in peace.
Pour one out for
Pour one
our
out
boy.
for the boy. Totally not around in another personality right now.
Whoops.
Which this character still doesn't know.
Oh, man.
Yep.
For Osiris, he's definitely a good guy, but I'm going to say he's become a very tragic good guy, where he tries so ungodly hard to do the right thing, but there are unfortunate circumstances or happenings that take place that I don't want to say paint him in a bad light, but yeah, kind of paint him in a bad light, where just stuff happens or he is put in situations or he's reacting to situations and it just blows up in his face. And he fears a lot. He worries, especially lately, he worries if he's falling out of favor a bit, where like he was put on the tribunal because of the creation of Adam. We'll get into that. There's the creation of Adam, and he really didn't want to, but he felt like he had to spill the beans to a few things, and that got him in some hot water with Sevi and a few people for a while. Speaking of Walter, when he talked to Totally Not Walter, he was encouraged to go talk to him. So when he did, obviously Thanatos blew up, and Osiris is like, oh fuck. Like, and that was bad. And then Ares had to ask him who told you this? And of course Osiris didn't feel like he could say no to Ares, so he's like this, and it's just there's information that got passed around that he felt like was relevant to him, or at least like it would have been nice for him to have been made aware of, and no one told him. There's just like he's hit a point where he's worried that some of the situations that have occurred and have unfolded have marred his image and made it to where people don't feel like they can talk to him about stuff that might be more important, and it really breaks his heart because he cares so much, but at the same time he knows what's happened feels damning enough to where he doesn't want to say he feels like he deserves it, but it's this it'll play into a little bit later where Osiris is just in a very, even out of character, like I'm struggling with his identity right now. I don't really know where to go with him, but that's for a little bit later into the questions. But yeah, he's a good guy, definitely a good guy, but just I'm worried that because of things that have occurred, he will never truly be seen in the light that he wishes he could be.
Maybe not by some, but maybe by others. I mean,
Maybe.
even in Karguk's stance, he leaned a little bit more on the neutral side, or he leans a little more on the neutral side now, I guess, because the fact of, like, by technicality, he first started not liking the Mafia, like the Carbillos.
Right.
But then when we get back to Reinhold, given more character interaction and more time, he still had the odd job with the Carbillos over the years that he begrudgingly did because he wasn't a fan of gangs. But then seeing the Carbillos more and more, he has good favor with them now and actually is friends with some of them. So it's like he's both very good friends with the wardens and a lot of people of the town, as well as sees the good that the Carbillos actually do.
Oh, is Lenny good or bad? Well, she started out good, and I've given the baton to make the potential because, you know, when Lulu gets cooking.
Yep.
The idea of where Buck is, what has he been doing? Tembris gets brought up a few times in that regard too. So depending on the direction that Buck takes will be the direction that Leani takes. So Leani has the potential to be super helpful or super not helpful, and I have given that complete free range to the DMs to decide. So everything that Leani knows about all of the warding candidates could be used to help or not help, depending on whenever the Tembris arc becomes a thing. So, yeah, what it is, she's good or bad, is quite the coin toss at this moment. At the moment, when it comes to where she is currently, once we return from our arc, she's trying to do the best she can. That may involve some bad.
Yep.
And, you know, you weigh that in medical. You try to do the most good for the most you can. That also being said, if I do this thing that hurts you, it'll ultimately help you in the long run, is going to be something that's going to be consistently weighed on her mind, depending on, again, how things kind of roll out back in Reinhold.
I feel like if the admins were trying to make a loaf of bread from scratch, you just gave them like a cup of yeast.
There you go.
I'm willing to go whatever direction. I have links to different visual aesthetics for her, to depending on what kind of madness they want to create.
Oh goodness.
So you're very much about, like, you're willing to go any direction that they put towards you.
Because I thought about it with Leani, given that her circumstances and what Buck has done, and then just the chaos that Reinhold is, and in her perspective of, you know, she found this family, the family's kind of having their own situations as well, that she doesn't feel like she has someone that's super, super close to her in the sense of, like, blood besides Buck. And she trusts Bucks will do long-term the best that can be done. So if new DMs come and say, yeah, Buck is with Tembris, like Buck says they're the good guys, Leani will probably follow suit.
Interesting.
That's going to be a tough pill to swallow when that gets to that, considering how close Leani and Karguk are.
God, absolutely.
Yeah.
God.
And
It will
also,
make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
Well, because
Find out
the
in
thing is,
character.
again,
Yeah, literally.
I
Not
mean,
even we
when you
know.
think about it, just in any role play too, the good guys are the ones that are telling the story. We're the good guys.
Yep.
In Tembris' mind, they're the good guys.
The winners write history, as they say.
Yeah. And they are formidable. They're definitely a formidable group.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to our next question. What is one of your favorite interactions that you've had while in character?
Oh, I I think it's honestly just the in between times when there isn't anything really extreme going on or like a planned out occurrence. The first thing I can think of is kind of bringing back where like we know our kind, like medical wise.
Yeah.
There, Coyote does knowledgeable stuff about medicine and whatnot IRL.
Oh,
And so
Yodi.
we were at the Carbillos home, and in character Gregory's like, I'm having this massive headache, whatever. I'm like, you know, you need to calm down. Like, you need some like Ativan or whatever. And then Free Coyote playing Victor made a comment about, you know, use some Lex or whatever. I'm like, no, that's not that. And then we're talking like medical terminology. And HB as Gregory was English for eyes, like just because it's that moment we had. It was so funny because we knew exactly what we were talking about, but then HB's like, what?
Absolutely, God.
Down to earth, please.
Right, can you English that for me?
Some of the stuff you mentioned, I'm just like, yeah, stab him in the chest or whatever. There's like some stuff you're mentioning. I'm like, yeah, that. Like, fuck, I don't know what you're talking about.
The IO.
Yeah, the IO.
osteo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah, I know what that
In
is.
your
No, I
bones.
don't.
Sorry, Cassie.
I was like,
Oh.
God. Oh, Lord. Absolutely, though. Yeah, when real recognizes real, it's always funny. But man, there's stuff you mentioned. I'm like, I should know that. He should know that. I don't know that. So,
Always feel free. Like I totally am. If someone's like, "Hey," I've had other people reach out because of my roleplay with Leani about like I'm doing a different medical roleplay thing. Can you help me? I'm like, absolutely.
mhm.
So even like support casts, like if they're like want to do some more field stuff versus magic fingers, you are more than welcome to reach out. I have the documents. I like my documents.
We're gonna.
You have a
She has
character
the
like
power.
I have
and they
the
have
authority.
then you have a character like Kargak who throws a complete 180 wrench in your window, and it's just like, oh hey, this is a completely like very sturdy skinned, scaled even like character that you can not do very normal usual things to. How are we gonna do metal kill on this character?
He'd be hard to NPA, wouldn't he?
We call you Ama against medical advice.
Understandable. Have a nice day.
Oh, man. Oh God. Oh, now it's my turn. Fuck. Where were we at for the? Oh yeah, the interactions. Okay, so I'd like to be a little selfish, and it's okay if we got to move on. I have 3 that are really on the mind, and it's because I want to throw flowers to some people. If we want, we could push it to you, but if it's okay,
That's fine.
I'd like to.
Go ahead.
Okay. Is it okay, Shuggy? I have like a couple, but they're important for their own reasons. If it's okay, I've got about 3.
Sure.
Okay.
If you can make them a little quick, that'd be awesome.
I'll do my best, I promise. The first one, this was before I was streaming, so unfortunately I couldn't get it on camera, but it was actually the creation of Adam. I had no idea it was going to happen. I seriously, genuinely had no idea it was possible, no idea that anything could happen in the setting. So when I did the interaction, and because it was seriously just supposed to be a tool to help Kane, like, come back down to earth a little bit. So when the DM was like, hey, the syringe is shaking in your hand, I was like, what? Then it fell out. Pod. Adam. Words can't describe the emotions that I went through in character and out of character. Holy shit, there's a pod on the floor in front of me, and it's nuzzling up to my foot like a cat. I didn't know what to do.
That's nuts.
Oh my God. I froze. I couldn't. I walked out. Poor Evan and I think Ada were outside, and I'm carrying this pod in my hands. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. They're like, how did that get there? I don't know. I was doing a thing and a pod popped out. And just
distribution system working like the cat one.
But that was a great scene. God bless everybody involved with that. That was just such a nice scene. It led into one of his biggest feelings, because he feels like because of Adam's creation, though, he indirectly led to or helped to lead to the events that would accelerate General Lazarus's death, and that really, really broke him up. And so it's just that, amongst other things, where he's really beating himself up, because like if he didn't defend Adam's existence, would the Doomsayers have attacked? And if the Doomsayers didn't attack, would we still have had time for Lazarus to try to help him? and he wouldn't have received that injury. So,
Mm.
anything with
Butterfly
Adam,
effect.
yeah, anything with Adam, like Osiris, just feels like just this sincerest form of like guilt, even if this is like one of the greatest medical, scientific kind of creations. It's like wow, kind of thing, at least to him. But that was one. Again, I'll try to keep it quick. The second one, I have to do a huge shout out to Chrono, Lunacrest. I sat down and I typed up every candidate's name on a Google Doc, plus some of the town, and I individually, one by one, went down the list and thought, what could Osiris get these people for Lunacrest? So each and
Aw.
every single person had, and I tried over the course of a few weeks. I did not get to everyone, and I'm so sorry. I, over the course of a few weeks, individually was like, this person should get this, these people should get this, and I went all the way down the list. Bless Chrono. He was the one that was making contact with me and pushing all of this to the staff. So the staff had, I mean it, 50-ish plus things that I was asking if I could get for people as Osiris. And, you know, thank you. Thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. It was really nice to do. God, what was the third thing? I can't fully recall now. Obviously it was important, but I'm struggling to remember. So if it comes back to me, just to help keep it moving on, we'll push it over here. But at least those two.
Yeah.
Mm.
Normally it would be hard for me to point out a specific time that I think would be my favorite, because I enjoy the downtime, the social. I like sometimes just passing the time and just, you know, working the forge. I'm also a combat junkie, so a lot of the time I like helping out on certain missions or being like magic beasts, pods, whatever going on. The Fire Shrine, playing that like final large boss right in front of the front gate was
What was
really
the third
fun
one?
for me. That good time there. But I think
Right,
personally,
I
one of
remember.
the most
It was the
favorite
ambush.
times I've had as of late
The ambush.
would have been at the end of Karguk's part of the gang arc, where it was a group of the Carbillos going down into the underground, the engineering part, by word
I had to
of
be
the gang.
Organization 13.
She knows exactly what I'm talking about. Because then it was at that part where I know out of character, like in the Discord, it had been talked about like how strong Karguk actually was, because Karguk technically was on similar par at the time as the Warden candidates. Now come the gang arc, where we get introduced to this drug, the Warden Maker, and this gang, some of them being like some immature, like teen and younger adults. They're messing around and they start injecting Karguk with it, which then brought him up to a point where he was as strong as a regular Warden.
Brutal.
Karguk doesn't have a core. So I had a very fun time being set up and just going
Throwing all of us
completely
around.
feral berserk with
Oh
like
my God.
I have a combat model that has like a sword, a shotgun, some armor on it, like even a helmet that can be toggled on and off, that I used during the OVA at first, way back. That's again how long that all that arc stuff was planned. But I finally used that model during that time and had to fight like Shiloh, Leone,
You
Victor.
didn't fight me. I avoided you like the plague. I'm squishy, girl. I am squishy. I will break so quickly.
I'm not fighting that
Hey.
thing. You kidding me? Not a Warden Maker.
I just saw red. I
He
was
like
using
just
my
picking Victor off him, chucking him, picking Shiloh, chucking him.
Oh,
yeah, like
Oh my
having a giant
gosh.
cleaver sword and like grabbing by both and just like charging, like
Oh.
slamming down.
Very Bloodborne aesthetic vibes were happening for sure.
I was having so much berserk and bloodborne fun. Even one point where like I swung down with the sword and Victor caught it with both his gauntlets and hands, and we had a power struggle for a moment.
oh, that's dope.
Yeah, no, it was a fun time.
Nice.
I recalled it. I'll be super quick. It was the ambush.
Go for it.
It was the ambush scene.
Oh.
I say that because similar to when you were talking about the setup for the gang thing, I knew Osiris was going to get jumped for a while, and that actually allowed for me for the very first time to reach out to some people. Shout out to them who gave me a hand. They did texture editing work, so what you saw for Osiris's injuries was actually what you got. It was the first time I had ever been able to tell people that were doing mid roleplay on me, what you see is what you get. And that was a huge moment in Osiris and Star's relationship as well. There was a lot that came from that as well. It's why, like, when Nini's Batwarden was around, this is the first time Osiris has seen her. He's like terrified. He's absolutely horrified whenever she's around. He's so scared, and it was just such a big moment. And church for giving me, for offering for it to happen. Thank you. It was great. Star, thank you for jumping in and being involved with that as well. I think it really helped the scene, and just the injuries, like making him in unity with my friend who's kind of coaching me. I'm like, oh, my poor baby, who did this to you? I'm doing this to you, but I'm doing this to you. And like every little bit that I'm adding and like looking at him, even when I did his eye like partially closed, like he got punched in the face, I'm like, no. Every time I do something, like, who hurt you? It's me, but who hurt you?
Who wants a spoonful of trauma?
So
I'm
that
doing this because I love you.
so that was
because trauma adds spice.
that was
Like,
such a
maybe,
big
like,
moment.
A lot of those like perfect moments, yeah, like when you have the planned moments of the incidences. But I find some of the funniest times just being like the downtime stuff, like the in between. I know I sent you some clips too, but like like when your seat broke on your avatar and that person just launched into oblivion. Like those moments when you have Scuff RP or you're talking to someone very seriously, and then we have the new VR chat thing where if you disconnect, you go confetti, and it's like, okay.
Cassie's Hawaiian shirt coming up instead of the other toggle when we're treating him, and his Hawaiian shirt popped up. Like, man needs a vacation.
I didn't do that. We're just gonna keep going. Pretend it's there.
Or the usual tracking break.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Someone
man.
just
Baldur's
gets sent
having
straight to the
serious conversation
stratosphere.
and his hip goes that way.
Scuff RP is best RP in this house.
I was like, I can't remember, but someone made a really good video clip. I'm trying to remember who it was. That made a really good video clip of all like the Scuff. I think it was Zenpai that made a bunch of different clips of like all of our trackers going wonky from different streams.
We gotta love our Scuff here. We love our Scuff.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
Alrighty. So we're gonna get to the last question of the night. And that is, what is one goal that your character wants to achieve? Only one that you can think of.
I see you're both looking at me now.
I have to pick a side, so
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Oh gosh, because I know I mentioned earlier about the 2 goals that he kind of has in mind. I think while still he has fun being an innovator, and like if you bring a project to him to make, he will absolutely love working on it. Excuse me. And like try to work on as much as possible. But deep down, he really does want to know like more about his past and like fully understand it, because like he's had like nightmares since the start of the role play of like all his traumatic experiences from when like all his tests and everything, but he only now knows of like being possibly from Tenebris. Not even know if that's confirmed or not, even the DMs haven't told me that. He wants to know like what happened with his family, what happened to his parents, like what happened, where did he start from. He wants to actually find out about himself, for the good or the bad, to have that kind of closure and to be able to kind of move on and grow as a person.
I guess now that there's time to mention it, Osiris is in such a weird spot. So like I mentioned, when I come in, I don't really usually have like a I think he should achieve this at the end, right? I don't usually do that. I usually let the world and the events mold him. Right now, I don't really know, and it's definitely a thing for me out of character, but like I feel like Osiris's identity has become very muddled. He feels like he's falling out a bit on the medical side of things, which is fine, you know. But it's like, what should I do with you? And I want to keep him around, and he's got the core, so that like leads into a direction. But then I'm left like do I want to try to fully make him a player character? But then if I make him fully a player character, how would that impact kind of the role that he's kind of been in and been fulfilling? And then would he lose his arcane core? And if he does, kind of one of the ideas I did have for him was to be one of the first kind of arcane purists, like purely the arcane, not any elements, just magic TM, like an Elden Ring type of deal. That's how it was described to me. So it's like, could I find a way to do that? And then even like his kit and his like loadout, he's getting a little closer to someone, you know, but that person has kind of rubbed off a little bit on him, and it's like, do I want to take him to be a little bit more like sneaky? Do I want to like maybe make him into like a sniper type character? Do I want to try to turn him into like information gathering? Like, how would some of his previous interactions have impacted his desires going forward? Is to him the best way to avoid these kinds of people that he doesn't like to have an excuse to stay away from them? Or like, it's a really weird spot that he's in, and I'm really lost on his identity, and I'm really trying to kind of figure it out. And I have a few things and tools that I can work with to push maybe some change, but it's I guess a little bit of OOC. Like, if I want him to be something else, like if I want to try to apply for him to be player cast again, then how would that change what is there? And I'm sure I could talk to the admins and them about it, which goes a bit back into my anxiousness sometimes. So it's like it's the desire to reach out mixed with not knowing if it's in the cards out of character for him to be more. There's just a lot. And then of course going back in and having to do model work, which is something that I'm still rather rudimentary on, and there's a lot. So trying to, I guess, out of character goal is, I guess in character and out of character is try to get an identity for him again, try to figure things out a bit, because I love him and he does still love and care about the candidates a lot, but it's like, what do I do with you? So I guess figuring that out a little bit, as kind of vague as it is, I apologize, but yeah, that's
okay.
that's kind of where he's at, I'd say.
Dr. Leonie Linares' goals is to get stronger. Whether that leads her into investing more in Reinhold and developing a strength that she can do more and feel more relevant. I know when she went to Vanderhall, she realized that her base medical knowledge doesn't mean a lot compared to, you know, magic beasts at the moment. Knowledge is good, of course, but to try to be stronger so that she can do more. Whether that leads her to a direction that maybe people don't agree with, in the sense of what is considered good and bad, or leads her outside the city, is to be determined. But that is her goal. Her motivation is to become stronger and do more, be able to do more.
Lovely. Well, as the Eden Lost RP progresses, I hope that you all are able to achieve your goal and enjoy the process as we go along with every episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
I love to see how the story progresses, because it's very interesting seeing how much of the world does, like how much more stuff actually happens.
Not a couple girlfriend. I am. Trust me.
In the small like town
There's been
bubble,
some stuff happening
how
between
little
them.
you sometimes can see compared to if you get more and more towards the candidates and stuff.
Yeah, real life is possibly becoming an issue as well. I've been kind of between roles for now, and I'm looking to get back into the swing of things. I have to try to get back into the career field. So I'm hoping that the positions that I'm getting into would be, you know, accessible. But right now, ending for me personally, like my body ending the time that Eden normally ends is like, even if I were to immediately go crash, That gives me like maybe 5 hours to be up, and God bless the people that can do that. Me, I struggle, so you know, I'm hoping I can stick around. That's the
East
idea.
Coast. Oh,
Oh,
I
Yeah,
don't know
I
how they
totally
do it.
understand
I
that.
don't know
Yeah,
how they
East
do
Coast,
it.
baby.
I'm central now, and
Yeah.
there's a position that might be picking me up in Alaska of all places. So it's like if I end up going over there, then that's like I could definitely make it work. If anything, Eden might actually be starting too early, so I might be going on the opposite end of the spectrum. So we'll have to see how that goes. But that's amongst other things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wish you best of luck. We're gonna go ahead and play like maybe 1 or 2 videos, and then we're gonna do our sign off for tonight.
Alrighty.
So starting off, let's do you know, everyone's hard at work here in Eden Lost. Everyone's doing their best.
How's it going?
It's going good. I stubbed my toe.
Fucking Taito, man. Oh my god. Go into the first room right there. It's gonna get a freaking platinum member card every hospital.
Stubbed your toe. They wanted just to come in to say hi to their boyfriend. Oh my god. Can I handle this?
God bless Red Dog.
God bless Red Hog.
Taito. We love them. We love them. It's always fun being able to see your friends while in character.
Yeah.
The poster child of Amma. Against medical advice.
And with medical advice comes the painful knowledge that beauty is definitely pain.
My legs are faster than yours. I've been training.
Oh shit.
No, you can't make me. I've been working out, but oh god! Oh no!
Okay, or
Your turn.
we win, right?
That day was one thing after the other. Like, no, I want to be done.
I cannot come on.
Fell down the stairs. What else is there? That's what you get for wearing heels.
I mean, mine are
No,
a little bit
these are
longer.
boot heels, man.
Yours
You
are
got
Those are
pin
mine-
heels.
mine are like boots. Okay, and I slay in them.
She does though. Very true.
God, seeing the difference of Missy Mod's characters is always so interesting.
I get caught up in her face tracking too much and just stare at her face.
Yeah,
She asks me
God.
questions. Shit, what was it?
I
Oh,
miss
no.
having face tracking. It was so nice. I would have submitted it, but the most popular clip on my channel is just Braggy breaking my neck when I was a Magic Beast. So it's like, just Braggy doing that, and I'm like,
Those
okay.
funny moments where it's like nothing intense is happening, nothing plot based is happening, but like I
Yeah.
genuinely laugh and like, okay, this was a good session. We had some good laughs, some good ab workout.
And I love that in character you can also have fun while being in character and being a little silly.
Oh no, it's a live soft. It's supposed to be.
Oh, the theater thing.
Someone like I mean, I'm sure someone like yourself is quite interested in performance and acting. I mean, Ava Feeling Good seemed like the person who'd be having a knack for improv.
You know, some people say that, but I think I just take people's jokes a little too literally, so it's kind of hard for me. You bitch.
This was right after we had an improv show at HB was watching. I think this is where you were involved and a few others were involved in the improv show that I hosted. And this was after that. And then he said he made that comment like, you.
God, that whole performance of Live Soft, aka the spin-off of Die Hard, was so much fun. It's so much fun as like a theater kid playing a character that's bad at acting to try and be like as best as possible. 'Cause it's like,
There's
how does a
Inception
good
shit
actor
going
do
on right
bad?
there for sure.
Yeah, but it's like purposely being bad is always just fun because you're just throwing stuff at the window until it sticks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Just
Yeah.
crazy. That goes back to what I mentioned briefly about like the things that the players do in the community. Like, sure, live soft. And another thing, it's more subtle, but it plays into a little bit of what Pandas was mentioning, where holidays and like festivals that are baked into the world and character and are actually displayed and celebrated. It's not a common thing that I see. So like the Lantern Festival and like how they did Lunacrest and all that stuff. Like we've of course been in role plays where they do Christmas or Halloween or whatever, but like to have all the work that they put in for each of these kind of separate holidays, just it's a subtle thing, but loved it. Amazing work. So you know, just another thing to give to them. And God bless you, crazy people with Live Soft.
My. Okay, as we're wrapping up the night here, is there one thing that you'd like to say to the community or for the people watching at home?
I mean, hey, shout out to everyone who watches. Thank you for like enjoying what we do, because honestly, it's just like we have fun playing pretend. We love to be able to entertain people, so seeing so many people be able to watch from so many different perspectives and be able to like make art, videos, whatever, like just enjoy the time. It's wonderful to see from our side, to see so many people enjoy it. Shout out to obviously the team, like the admin team, the DMs, map makers, model makers, who put in such good work to make such a good world happen and make everything possible. And I mean, honestly, shout out to all the players who have such a fantastic time in the role play and make such great interactions possible. Because every single person, even Betty Crocker playing as a small tree for like 5 minutes, has their important role going on.
Yep, similar. I mean, you really said it best, but you know, for the people on a more personal one as well, for those that have really come and gone close to Osiris, Shiloh, Evan, Clara, of course, is it Scarlet over there, and just anybody that's really taken an interest in and approached me. It's really helped, especially in a community where, said it before, I really didn't know a ton of people, and still aren't involved in a ton of other, really any other projects other than they need. So thank you guys, I really appreciate it. It makes me feel like I'm doing something right. So thank you guys, truly, again, it really does mean a lot. So to the community that has put forth so much amazing stuff, you know, who knows where we're going to be going from here. Thank you all again, truly, for just taking the interest and helping to make things feel a little bit more comfortable for me here. So truly, I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. I would say expand your horizons. Those in roleplay.
We're gonna kill you, Turtle.
I have done some shows where role players meet improvers competition battle, because there are some fundamental skills that improvers exceed in that role players could work on, and some fundamental skills that role players exceed in and improvers could work on. So I encourage everyone in the roleplay community to expand. There are so many amazing improv groups within VR chat. Also for those that follow different role plays, I've heard it before from many other people, I'm just desktop, or I don't know how, I don't know anybody. Just go in. Sin did it. Just go in. Just try it. Every single
Absolutely.
and the many role plays I've been a part of in relatively a short period of time, the DMs, the admin teams, if they're like, hey, I'm a deskie, can I do something? They will find something. If they don't have something already, they will find something. They will get you involved. You just gotta go for it. Even if you're not super extroverted, even if you don't know anybody in the role play, just try it. Just try it. Well,
Hey, even I started
what are
out
you
as
gonna do
desktop.
otherwise? Why binge watching Netflix here? Just try it. Just do it. Just try it.
There's a lot out there. It's a lot bigger.
Most
It's
of the
huge.
closest friends that I could say to me by doing this stuff.
We drove through that
I've
damn
met this
Midwestern,
crazy
yeah.
goof in IRL. I've met a few other IRL people from roleplay, from improv. You know, we've gone on trips together. And, you know, I'm planning my wedding soon. They're going to be a part of it. So there's so many things you can have friendships and meet people and be a part of these massive story projects, even if it's just you know, Betty Boo playing a tree. I've seen some freaky trees out there, okay? And Eden Lost, you know, there's the woods, maybe a tree gets sentient. You never know. It's possible.
Drive through terrible
Just do
Midwestern
it.
storms
Just try
together. Drive through awful Midwestern
Don't
storms.
feel nervous. Yeah. Don't feel nervous about feeling a goof where you're going to mess up or say the wrong or do the wrong thing. Don't worry about it. There's amazing people in the community. Everyone here is awesome as well. There's like, you know, like Sim was saying, that there are so many amazing individuals within Eden Lost that they roll with the punches. They'll make it work. They make it make sense.
And make sure you take
Well-
your hits.
And drink water. The doctor says to drink water.
All the other pleasantries.
Yep.
Sleep is
Lovely,
Sleep. It's important. Just don't sacrifice your true life if it becomes that bad.
Mm-mm.
Get help. I mean that half joking.
IRL comes first.
Yes.
Yes,
The
IRL always
biggest
comes
saying,
first.
IRL comes
even
first.
since before in 2018, IRL before RP.
But still try.
And that is every single IRL play I've ever like participated in, even as small as an NPC. It's your IRL will come first.
Absolutely. Alrighty, well, it seems like we're out of time and our time all together has come to a close. I would like to thank our guests for coming out here tonight, our wonderful, amazing stage crew for all of their hard work, and finally, I'd like to thank the audience and viewers at home for tuning into the show. This has been a late night in Eden. Good night, and remember to be mindful of your body, your mind, and the metals that flow through you. Good night, everyone. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching.